Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm travelling thousands of blocks away, leaving everything behind, including my mega base, simply to see if I can restart my forever world. So after having the idea to restart, I mentioned it to some members on the server and ended up with Gummy and Lapis joining me for this adventure. And we eventually found this nice lovely valley area. And we named the area Campfire Valley. You know what, can I just say, it's good to be back. I genuinely don't think there's any other people that are stupid enough to throw away a year's worth of progress to join me in the woods. But I'm very appreciative that we're back. Now, we wanted some rules in place to really count this as a restart while still honouring the server itself. So, this is Campfire Valley, chat. What a wonderful location. Gummy's getting rid of all his stuff. We are starting out a little differently from last time, as we all have access to one of every vanilla and a couple non-vanilla saplings. The reason for this is just because, you know, it's helpful, it's nice, and it means we don't have to explore as much. Also, everyone is allowed to use shops that are open if they pay for them. So, with these rules in place and the area found, it was time to build a starter base. Okay, so I've just finished my tent, but we're running into a couple issues with the area. Mainly being that we have no food, and the forest is very dark, so we keep getting attacked by mobs, including creepers blowing up my tent like 6 times. So, my current idea is I'm going to create some nice rocks and trees, just to kind of blend light sources into the natural area, while not ruining it, and keeping the atmosphere. Now, the reason I want to keep the atmosphere is mainly because the Campfire Valley area is meant to be like the perfect kind of fall, autumn base, right? And, you know, that means cozy, but also a little, you know, a little creepy. A couple little horror elements. And the best way to do that isn't torches. Because if I use torches, it's way too bright, and you know, there's no mystery. However, using glow lichen on rocks or trees creates a perfect effect, making it light enough that mobs won't spawn, but dark enough that it still has mystery and it feels like something could be hiding around the corner. However, to do that I needed glow lichen, and that was surprisingly more difficult than I expected. We only have 20, and that's not enough for custom trees, or rocks, or anything. So we've got to make a glow lichen farm. We're gonna build it somewhere. I don't know where yet, but somewhere. So, the idea is we're going to hide the glow lichen farm underneath the campfire. That way, it's out of the way, yet easy to find for building, and I don't have to build a giant rock. So, win-win on it. So all of the materials for the farm are pretty easy to get. However, we do have one issue, and that's that we need observers. And they require quartz, which is in the nether. And currently I'm on half a heart with barely working stone tools and 0 diamonds to make a pickaxe. So if I want to get to the nether, I'm going to have to use buckets and try and do a speedrunner style portal and see how it goes, because I really need this glow lichen. So that became my main focus. I went looking in the caves, collecting whatever glow lichen I could find, and was on the search for lava, which then took to the entrance of the cave to build the portal. I do have plans to make a build around this portal, but that'll be a different video. For now though, I finally had the portal built, so it's time to go looking for quartz. All the quartz I've spotted are in... Is that a bastion? Yeah, a little bit of cheat. Yeah, okay. So we're right next to a bastion. What? That's more important. I did say we only need one, but in case we do need any other quartz in the... I'm gonna grab the entire van. Now that I found quartz, I thought the rest of this farm would be pretty smooth sailing. I did not expect to spend several hours hunting for a single slime ball. Okay, so the last thing I need for this farm is a sticky piston, and that needs a slime ball. However, slime balls are like stupidly annoying to get, and I could get them from like a create farm because that's in the mod pack, and I know there's a way. However, I'm not good at create, you know. not my thing. I'm not good at it. So instead we're gonna have to head down into the caves and hope we find a slime chunk under here. I don't know how likely that is, but hopefully there's one around here. After giving up on finding a slime chunk, I asked the members on the server, and thankfully Akira happened to have a slime ball that I traded 4 diamonds for. Kind of expensive, but I was the one who set the price just because of how desperate I was to get a slime ball. But now I have it, I can finally get to work on the farm. And here is the finished glow lichen farm. Obviously, it's pretty simple. Here are all the kind of mechanics of the farm. Once again, the link is in the description if you are wanting to build this farm for yourself. There's not a whole lot to say about the build other than I made a small little cave just so it would blend in better and not just be a farm underground. However, before I could fully finish my base, I did notice something while exploring the area. I had this idea a while ago to build a Firewatch area. Just the nice open clearing, and I really love the aesthetic of Firewatch towers. I didn't realise that we necessarily need it. But we've already have half a forest fire going. So we might have to get on that one. But that forest fire is an issue for a future episode. And now, I think it's time to see what work we've done on our starter base. As I walk along the path, you do actually kind of see a lot of the changes already. We've added glow lichen to the trees. We've, placed some rocks. Glow lichen on there. A nice little fence up. Over here, I've built a small bridge that just goes over the area. Makes crossing the cave a little easier. But back on the main path, you know, there's some stuff that still needs cleaning up. But overall, it's a nice little path that leads to our nice tent, where we've got easy storage along the sides, more storage down here, and just some decoration, a nice plant pot, table, chairs, all that good stuff, as well as some workstations down here for everything we'll need in the future. I do have to move those sheep at some point because their need is done now that the tent's done. But that is our starter bit, and that means we can actually start working on much bigger projects within the area. Because template's been going for a little bit now, but I'll be honest, I've mainly been focused on editing this video down, so I haven't actually done that many projects yet. But now we can actually start, and I've got tons of ideas. That'll all be for next time, just like that Firewatch tower I mentioned earlier. Now that I've spent a decent amount of time at the new campplay area and fully built my starter base and fully restarted on the server, I'm really happy I did, because it gives me more things to do on the server other than burn myself out working on the same project. And honestly, I can fully recommend just starting a new base or a new project or small build whenever you want to break from what you're working on in Minecraft.